Hello everyone, welcome to our new first video about configuring KUKA KRC4 automatic external with Profinet. First, we will need to check the IP address. So to do that, we'll change the user group and go to Start tab, Network Configuration. Here we can see the fixed IP I've configured, and now we will check the Windows IP. We go to Panel Control and Network Configuration. We check for our Ethernet port or Wi-Fi adapter if you're using Wi-Fi connection. Then we go to the properties and we look for IP4. Then we fix the IP, or alternatively, you can go to the router and assign a static IP address to the desired MAC address. Okay, now we can see the cell is detected by the workvisual, so we open the project that it's running, so we don't have any compatibility problems. Here we will start the IO Profinet stack and assign the inputs and outputs values. So we double click on security control and we wait for the internal buses to open. Once we open, we add the Profinet. Here I already had it Profinet. I forgot that this project already has the Profinet stack activated. So we double click on Profinet and we will see the options. Here to activate the stack, you just need to tick the checkbox and select the Profinet version that you have and the inputs and outputs you want to share between the PLC and the robot. In my case, 512, but you can select any other. And now you just apply the modifications. But here, since I already modified them, it was already configured, there's no apply button. Now we go into the inputs and outputs to map the IOs, and as you can see, I mapped all of the inputs and outputs at the end of the mapping because I didn't want to overlap with any system inputs that KUKA was already using. And so we select all of them, in my case 512, and then you can drag and drop to the first input that you want to map, in this case 3585, or you can select the bottom in the middle of the bar. So now that that's done, we go to the outputs and we do the same. They're already configured, but you can choose any other starting from the beginning. But like I said, I didn't want to overlap, and I already have Ethernet IP inputs and outputs with Gripper. I'll speed things up. Essentially here, I'm just downloading the project into the robot. And then afterwards, we will import the Profinet GSD description file into TIA portal. So here we go into administer description file catalog, and we go into the GSD file. You can find it in the workvisual downloaded folder, and we import the version that we need. In my case, is 3.3, but you will have to see which Profinet option you have installed. So now we have the KUKA device installed. So we go into Atia Portal project and we add the PLC that we have and the robot. Well, the robot doesn't really matter because Tia Portal would just see it as a slave device with a certain amount of inputs and outputs. Since I don't remember which PLC I have, I will check here the online devices. Here, even though I had a cheat sheet and I had the reference number and article with the firmware, I actually added the ROM PLC, so always double check the actual article number and the firmware. So now we look for the KUKA device. It's in other bus devices, Profinet IO, and inside KUKA you will see Profinet device. So we add it to the project, and now we link it to the PLC, and we add the topology also. Now after that, the most important things are the Profinet name and the IP address. So for each device, we will configure the IP address. And here I've already have a IP address assigned beforehand. So in the project, I will add the same Profinet address and the name. Here I'm just gonna check the main system and check which one is the master. I will assign the PLC as master just in case. In the KUKA device, we will do the same, change the IP, change the name, and here I will delete the safety options because we're not using them, and here I modify the 256 with the 512 I had it in workvisual. Now we save the project and we load the project. Okay, remember always to save the project, and before loading the project you will need to select the PLC. As you can see here, we can detect the PLC, we load, and we wait until it's finished. And in the robot, we will have to configure the inputs and outputs. So we need the mapping, which starts in 3585 in my case, and in orderly fashion, in which we added into the variable tables in the PLC. We will have to map accordingly in the automatic external configuration. Here you can see the inputs into the PLC that I already mapped in the variable table, and we will go into the configuration, automatic external, and as I was saying before, these are the outputs of the robot. And I put the first one very ready, which is 3585, and then accordingly you will need to map the next one, which is 3886, in my case a stop message, and you will need that with all the following tabs, and same with the inputs really, because those are the most important ones. They are the external outputs of the PLC, the signals that the robot will receive to actually be moved externally automatically. The inputs of the robot are the outputs of the PLC, and here we will have the sequence how to enable the movement of the robot. First, you will need to select the cell program and move enable. I will show you an example now. Let me get it ready. Open the forcing table so we can force the variables directly into the PLC, and we can follow the sequence diagram path, or if you read the top left corner, you'll see that after you select the cell program, you need to advance into autoexec ini, and then wait and then in that line. Then you will need to start move enable, drives on, confirm the messages, then turn them off, then turn external start and select the program. In my case, it's number 1. So I force number 1, then the parity should be also 1 because it's one odd number. And then you validate the program number. So once you validate the program number, the program should be starting right now. So I'll leave you guys this. The diagram is found in the KUKA manual for automatic external on the section 6, I believe. And then you can see on this timing diagram of the signals where they come from KRC, so from the robot to the PLC, or the signals that you need to output from the PLC. So those are the ones that you will need to activate. And if you follow this sequence, you will get the robot working. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next one. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe.